You always are the most. Sorry. you're always how's my tagline again? You're always the moment when you are the. Oh, whatever. I'm the moment. I'm the moment. Yeah, it's me. It's not Portia. It's not Portia. Portia's not the moment anymore. She's not on the show anymore. Honestly, I can take her. Bring her back on the show. She only got me at the season 6 reunion because I wasn't looking. Yeah, she grabbed my hair. But I can take her again. Bring her back. Yeah, bring Portia back. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Rafael and I'm here to review episode 9 of The Real Housewives Who Are Drunk of Atlanta. We start the episode off with Sheree doing her daughter's podcast, which is called A Little Kiss and Tell, and it's all about sex and relationships. So Candy, look out because she's coming for your business. Next thing you know, she's gonna be selling vibrating panties. But they're talking about this position that you do during sex. Sheree's feeling a little uncomfortable because she doesn't know if she wants to know what Tiara knows what to do behind closed doors during sex. Next thing you know, Tiara, she gets an article sent to her phone and she's like, wait a minute, Mom, I just got an article. It said, breaking news, the Real Housewives of Atlanta star who was fired 2 times already and continues coming back onto the show for some reason, Sheree Whitfield, was caught outside of a restaurant waiting for her boyfriend/ex-boyfriend for 15 hours. After 16 hours of waiting, production had to shut down. Sheree was seen outside crying into her fur jacket, looking really pathetic. If you click on the link below, there's pictures of Sheree crying pathetically. Wow, Mom, this is so sad. Wait, there's more to the article. Sheree also never started her She by Sheree line, and there's still yet to be any merchandise. Okay, we don't have to read that part. I'm like, damn, Tiara, you're on a podcast and you have all these cameras and you just asked your mom this question out loud. I mean, you could have asked her privately, but Sheree, luckily she was caught, she was caught off guard, but she was just like, wow, really? Who wrote that article? She starts blaming Tyrone for these articles getting out there to the blogs and saying that Tyrone knew what he was getting himself into when he signed up to do the show. That it wasn't like, oh, she just kind of sprung the cameras on him when they were supposed to meet up at Philly and that's why he didn't show up because he didn't want to be on camera. No, he knew that the cameras were going to be there because he knew he wanted to be on TV to tell his side of the story. Now, what side of the story is he talking about? Maybe because, he wanted to explain why he was in jail. She was like, wow, he's just so broke now that he needs money this desperately that he's willing to leak stories to the internet like that. Like, that's pretty pathetic. And I feel like I got scammed the way he scams other people. And I'm like, now, wait a minute. So, Sheree, you know that he was a scammer. So you knew that, right? So you confessed to something right there? So you knew that, but you were okay with it, right? Until they landed back in your corner and he scammed you, right? And then she goes on to say, oh, I just feel so dumb, but I'm just like everybody else out there in the world who falls in love and just, I don't see all the signs right there in my face and I'm so stupid in love. And I'm like, but Sheree, the biggest red flag, the biggest sign right there in front of you that said, hello, I'm a big ass sign was that he was in jail and he said, he still didn't really take you serious. And yet you're over here holding him down. Why? But okay, so Tiara, she's like, Sheree, Mom, are you gonna still talk to him? Are you still gonna, continue anything with him? Sheree, of course, instead of saying, no, I'm blocking him forever, she goes on to say, I don't, next question, I don't know. I'm like, come on now, Sheree. Then she goes on to say, oh, it's a wrap with Tyrone. It's a complete wrap. It's a wrap. I'm done with him. It's a wrap. No, and damn well, it's not a wrap. And it's not even close to being a wrap. It's not even close to being a Subway wrap. And she's going to continue dealing with his foolishness for the future. We head over to Marlo's house where she goes up to her nephews, Michael and William's room, to talk to them about their behavior because she lets us know last episode that they've been acting a little bit rebellious and a little bit all over the place ever since that phone call with their mother, which is understandable, right? But part of me, it feels bad for even thinking this, but part of me, deep down inside, just feels like Marlo is exploiting this situation just a little tiny bit, just a little tiny bit. And I just don't want to think that because the whole situation itself has been sad. And we have seen that Marlo has been a good aunt to both of them this entire time, this entire season and last season. So I don't want to think that, but I don't know. Something swayed my mind from what we find out later on in the episode when Marlo said that she kicked both of them out. And I'm like, oh, so this is what we're doing. But she goes on to tell Michael and William, she goes on to say, do you both need a psychologist? Do you need a doctor? What's going on? Why are you two acting like this? Do you need a shopping spree? Do you want a new Gucci bag, a new Gucci belt, Gucci shoes? Let me know what you want. Do you want the new Alexander McQueen shoes? What's going on? Let me know what's the problem. So apparently Michael, the oldest one, I believe, he's been getting into it with his teachers at school and saying, oh, talking back and saying, oh, you don't get paid enough to go back and forth with us. So, you need to stop that right here. And is he lying? He's not lying, because me as a former teacher myself, that's why I removed myself from the whole school system, because me as a teacher again, I just feel like I was undervalued, I wasn't appreciated, and I'm like, absolutely not. I'm not tearing up my mental health and my peace of mind to stay somewhere where I'm not appreciated. But again, this is a whole different subject and a whole different topic for a different day. But I just feel like nowadays teachers are just, undervalued. Nobody takes them serious. They go through so much for just so little. And for what? Marlo goes on to tell both of them, oh, I want both of you to be right, and I'm trying to raise both of you correctly, and I just want both of you to stop being disrespectful and stop being so rebellious. And I just feel like Marlo, yeah, she has a right to be a little bit concerned here, because if you let them off the road for too much, who knows, they might become complete rebellion, and they just don't want to listen to anybody, including Marlo or just anybody around them. So I'm glad that she's trying to keep them on the right track, but at the same time, maybe she's just taking it a little bit too harder on herself and blaming herself for saying, oh, maybe I didn't raise them right. No, I feel like if everything that she's been showing us has been genuine so far last season and this season that we see in her relationship with them, I feel like she's been raising them correctly. It's just this phone call kind of messed them up emotionally, and who wouldn't get messed up by that phone call with their mother? I could understand why they're acting like this, and I feel like maybe this is just a little bump on the road. We head over to Kenya's house, where she has Sonia come over after she prepared a bunch of turkey, ham, cheese, and crackers, a Lunchable basically, and they're in the living room, and Kenya's asking Sonia, so how are you and Ross intimate in your house with 20 million people living in there? So Sonia, she goes on to say, well, sometimes it's tricky between me and Ross. We have to sneak into rooms, into bathrooms, into our cars sometimes, because my parents, they live downstairs, so it's a little bit awkward sometimes. And as she's talking, I'm like, this sounds like a good time, so I'm not sure if she's complaining or not. So then, give me 1 second. Candy's calling. Hey, Candy, how are you? Yeah, I'm here with Sonia. Yeah, I just got some cheese and crackers. Look, yeah. What do you mean there's green stuff on the cheese? It's mold. It's mold, but it's fine. It said that it expires in 2 days. Yeah, no, Sonia, why are you not eating? Eat. It's fine. It's just a little bit of mold. It's fine. It's just cheese and crackers. Okay, fine, whatever. Ugh, so annoying. God, why did they give her a peach this season? Anyway, Candy, so what happened with the intruder, like Beyonce's cousin? What happened with that? Are you okay? Let me know.
It was just so scary, Kenya. I got home and there was the police everywhere there. Luckily, Todd had everything under control. And yeah, this guy assumed that he said he was Beyonce's cousin and that Beyonce had sent him to my house so we could work on a track together. And I'm just not doing that anymore. Especially after the whole Kim Zolciak situation. I want my money up front when it comes to making music, you know what I'm saying? But luckily, everything is fine.
Wow, Candy, wow, that sounds insane to me. I cannot believe somebody would do that. I'm so glad that you, Todd, and the rest of the family are okay. I'm glad that everybody is safe. Wow, people are insane out there nowadays. Kenya goes on to talk about what happened at the Drop It With Drew event, with Marlo coming at her disrespectfully and saying how she's done with Marlo. She's not going back and forth with her anymore because she's always expecting something different with Marlo, but it's always the same thing over and over and over again. And what is that? Insanity. And honestly, there's not much more to say about this situation besides I can't really see Marlo nor Kenya being real friends outside of the show. Yeah, I could see them being fake friends on the show because they're a cast and they have to film together, but that's about it, because Marlo, she has said way too many unforgivable things about Kenya and her family, and Mark and her mom. She's constantly bringing Mark up, and she knows that that is a very sensitive subject to Kenya. And Kenya, she's no angel herself, but every time I think about their situation, I always go back to that comment that that Marlo made about her mom years ago, and that, to me, that is just way unforgivable. That's when the friendship would have went down the toilet, and it would have been flushed, and it would have been no redeeming itself from there. So then we head over to Chateau. She's trying to win an Oscar, and we see Sheree walking around her house with this beautiful blue velvet dress on, and she's trying to get all the food and snacks ready in her kitchen because she's gonna have her friend Fatum come over. And I believe she's the same woman from the second episode at Brooklyn's birthday party where she said that Ralph was gay. I believe that's her. So she shows up, and not even 10 seconds in, and she's already asking the right questions, trying to get a peach for next season. So they're sitting down, they're eating, and she's telling Sheree, so Sheree, what's going on with She by Sheree? Because I was just on the website 10 minutes ago, and nothing comes up. It said that I can't log on or anything. So what's going on? And what's going on with you and Tyrone? I read all the articles, so what do you think about it? So Sheree, she's trying to keep it together. She's just like, no, it's fine. It's fine. Me and Tyrone, we're good. We're fine. If he wants to put all these lies out there on the internet, then it's fine. Let me get back to I don't know where I went wrong, honestly, Fatum. I really don't. I should have been worried about She by Sheree. Yeah, I was worried about he and his problems, and look what it led me to. Like, nothing but heartbreak. Get the camera away from me. No, I don't want to film anymore. No, keep filming. I need this on camera. Get my good angle. Yeah, no, I just can't stand it. I even let him borrow my car, and guess what? He didn't even put gas in it, and you know gas is expensive, and he left the tank on empty, and it's just so disrespectful. Like, I just can't believe I allowed myself to be such a fool. Hold on. How does Candace do it in Potomac? She does it like this, right? Okay. Like, it's just too much, Fatum. I can't. I really can't. Is there anything coming out? No? Oh, fuck. Yeah, like, it's just terrible. And now, Sheree, where were those tears? I saw drama, I saw theatrics, I saw Broadway, I saw everything but real emotions and real tears. And Fatum, she was trying to win Best Supporting Actress by being there for Sheree and hugging her and telling her she's gonna be okay. She's just like, Sheree, it's fine. You're gonna get your website started like in a couple of years. She by Sheree, don't worry. Like in a couple of years, everybody's gonna be wearing that when you finally launch it. It's okay, you deserve so much better than Tyrone. And if it doesn't work out between you and him, it's fine. And if it doesn't work out with you and the show, maybe I can have your peach for next season. What do you think? Yeah, no, it's fine. Sheree, give me a hug. And as soon as they disembraced from their hug, Sheree was just like, it's fine. No, I'm just so heartbroken. I can't believe this. You know what? You're right. I deserve so much better. Anyways. I'm like, what happened, Sheree? You were just crying a second ago. And as soon as they disembraced, her face was completely dry. There was no tears, no nothing. I'm just like, what is going on? When The Weeknd said, save your tears for another day, this is not what he meant. Then she starts talking about Tyrone and starts saying, oh, I'm too good for him. He's broke. He's this. He's that. You know, people love to talk shit about their ex as soon as they leave a toxic relationship. Next thing you know, you call them 2 days later and you're like, hey, how's it going? How's the single life going? How's everything been since the breakup? And what do they say? What do you mean the breakup? We just got back together 2 days ago. So hopefully Sheree sticks to it this time and leaves him in the past, but we all know maybe she won't. Then we get a nail salon scene between Drew and her mom, and they're planning on how to jump Sonya and her mom while they're getting their nails and toes done. Drew, she also lets us know that her husband Ralph is also writing a book. If there's one thing that a toxic man needs to stay away from in this world is writing a book and a podcast. And Ralph, you're no exception. The only book I want Ralph to write is a horror book called I Still Don't Know What You Did Last Summer in Tampa. Because to this day, we still don't know. But Drew, she also lets us know that his secretary, the one that she made a big fuss about at the beginning of the season where she didn't want her working for him because they were both flirting with each other and she was offering him massages, she was the one that actually got him the book deal. And I'm like, damn, Ralph, what kind of dick game do you have that you have your secretary giving you book deals? But okay. So Drew, she also lets us know that the book that he's going to be writing about is on how to be a good stepfather. And I'm like, okay, that's understandable. That's reasonable, right? It's better than writing a book on how to be a husband, because obviously that would not be on the bestseller list coming from Ralph. So then Drew, she tells her mom, I don't understand why Ralph, he hasn't adopted my son at all. I mean, he said he was going to do it a long time ago, but he has yet to do it. And his excuse is, oh, well, he doesn't want to disrespect my son's biological father's boundaries. And I'm like, I don't know. Part of me feels like it's BS. And I feel like part of me deep down inside feels like Ralph, deep down inside, he feels like, oh, maybe this marriage is not going to work in the future. And if it doesn't, I don't want to be responsible for her child legally on paper. So I'm not sure. Drew's mom lets her know that she actually talked to like a psychic or something similar like that to give her advice on her life. And me personally, I believe in stuff like that. But when you're on a show like this, or when you're in the public eye, or when you're famous, that's a whole different situation. And it becomes sticky because, of course, if you're not a legit psychic, you could just Google stuff on anybody and then boom, just give them that information as if you already knew that. Like, oh, let me Google who Drew Sidora is. Let's see. She's gonna have a beef with Sonya. Okay, so I'm gonna tell her she's having issues with Sonya. She's married to who? Ralph. Okay, I'll tell her that Ralph and her marriage is falling apart. And just send her that and that's it. So, of course, I don't know how I feel about this specifically. So she gives her the voice message. Drew, she's listening to it. And of course, Drew, she believes it. And she's like, what? I have a snake around me? what? Like, she's so into it. She's just like, so let me see. I can't trust somebody. It says I can't trust somebody in my circle. Who is it? Is it Sonia? Is it Kenya? Is it Kim Fields? Is it Portia? Is it Nene? Is it Andy Cohen? Who is it? I'm not sure. Then we see Marlo shopping around for furniture for her new house. We see Sonia and Sheree. They also join in. Sheree lets them know that she's having a huge slumber party at her house and that they're invited. So they continue shopping around, comparing everything in the store to what Sheree has back at home. So they sit down on this couch to have a conversation, right? Marlo, she starts spilling out on everything that's going on back at her house with her nephews. And she's telling them, Sonia and Sheree, you guys won't believe what just happened at my house. Michael, he put his fist through the wall. Yeah, he's destroying my house. Both of them are destroying my house. They're tearing everything apart. Look. I got the footage on here. Look at the teddy bear. Poor teddy bear. Look, it's disgusting. The whole room is a mess. There's laundry all over the place. There's dirty underwear everywhere. It's disgusting. I can't take it anymore. I need a shopping spree. I need a new Gucci bag. I can't take this anymore. It's ridiculous. And she's just putting them on display. I'm like, damn, Marlo, relax. Like, I get it. They're acting a hot ass mess. But again, this is what I was just saying a second ago. It feels kind of exploitive because, again, did they give you permission to put that type of footage out there of them, destroying their room or whatever? No. But then again, I don't know. I mean, what do y'all think? Do y'all think it was a little bit too much what she was doing? Then she drops the bomb and says that she kicked them out her house and she sent them over to her younger sister's house, Crystal, who already has 4 toddlers that she's already taken care of underneath her roof. So now she has 2 more teenagers in this case to take care of. I'm like, Marlo, that is 6 kids in total, and you're okay with that. Her excuse is, oh, well, she knows how to take care of toddlers. She knows how to take care of anybody, so I think she'll be good. No, that is still a lot of responsibility for one person to take underneath one roof. Like, Marlo, no, that was so selfish. Again, I don't care how qualified you are. That is still a lot of responsibility for one person. Or then again, I'm not sure if her sister Crystal has more than one person underneath her house, but still, that is 6 kids underneath one house. That is still a lot, Marlo. Like, no. And on top of that, Marlo is the first one to always throw out that she's been in the foster system, that it affected her this way, it affected her that way. She went from place to place to place, and how she does not like that. And yet, what is she doing here to her own nephews? So, like, Marlo, again, you're doing something that you personally didn't like in your own childhood to somebody else's childhood just because they were acting up. I get it, I understand, but that was the responsibility that you signed up for. I mean, you think that parents just get to choose, like, you know what, I don't want my child today because they put their fist through the wall, or they're acting up, or they didn't clean their room. I'm just gonna send them away for like 30 days. No, it does not work that way. You have to take the responsibility. Even if I know you're not their mom, you're their aunt, you're still underneath their responsibility as technically their guardian. So no, Marla, I just feel like what she did was completely selfish. It was just so wrong. Yeah, they may be coming back in 30 days, but who knows if this has some type of some type of strain in their mentality. Like, oh, our aunt doesn't want us, our mom doesn't want us. Who wants us? You never know how that might affect them in the future or in the long run. They might come back after the 30 days and they might not even like you. They might not even trust you anymore. Like, wow, if we don't do the dishes or if we don't eat something or whatever, is she gonna kick us out the house again? So again, Marlo, just completely fucked up what you did there, and I was just not with it. She also goes off on this rant about Kenya, saying, oh, I'm not sure what's wrong with her. I'm not sure why she's coming at me the way she is. Maybe it's her diet pills or something that she's taking that's making her act like this. And I'm like, but Marlo, Marlo is extremely delusional because she thinks that everybody is attacking her, when in reality, it's her coming at other people, specifically Candy and Kenya. Both of them have done nothing to you, besides been shady here and there the very first episode. But other than that, I mean, did that warrant you to come at them every single episode the way you have? I don't think so. I mean, maybe you could say 1 or 2 things about them and that's it, but no, she is constantly going for low blows, for low blows, for low blows. All Kenya did was make fun of your little archive event for like 2 seconds, and what did you do? Oh, that's why you can't keep a man. That's why Mark left you. Like, damn. She also goes on to say, oh, Marla, Kenya, she's scared of me. She's scared of me because I go below the belt. I'm not classy. I go below the belt. I hit below the belt with low blows, and that's that. So that's why Kenya can't handle me. And I'm like, Marla, I'm pretty sure that Kenya can handle you because she handled an entire cast at the reunion after reunion after reunion, everybody coming at her and her defending herself. So I'm pretty sure that you're nothing to her. If anything, she's trying to be nice to you because if she really takes it there with you, she's probably going to hurt your feelings. We finally get to Sheree's slumber party, and the theme is bearing it all, and everybody has to wear a nude color pajama in order to represent nakedness and nudity and just being open with yourself, right? And I'm like, Sheree, if you wanted to see some ass and titties, all you had to do is just say that. You didn't have to come up with this elaborate theme. I would have showed up in nothing but a G-string and some pasties and a coat. But everybody else is showing up one by one. I believe Candy was the first one, followed by Kenya. But before that, we also see Sheree's messy friend too. What's her name? Fatum. She was there. She was talking to Candy about these insects that you put inside your vagina. And Candy, of course, she was so interested by it. She was just like,
Wait a minute, so you put this inside your vagina, and what is this supposed to do? I mean, is it incest, or is it supposed to make it smell good? I don't understand.
Fatum pushes it even further by telling the group, remember that one time that Drew came at me at Brooklyn's party? Well, I actually told my friend about that whole situation, and he decided to do a background check on Drew, and he found out a couple of interesting things about her and her husband, Ralph. And I'm like, wait a minute. I did not know that it was that easy to just do a background check on anybody without their legal permission. I mean, I guess so. But Sheree, honestly, if I was you, I would have been so mad, and I would have thrown Fatum out the house, because I would have looked at her like, wait a minute. So you had a friend who does background checks. So that means you could have done a background check on Tyrone when I first met him in order to, save me all these years of issues and problems and heartache with this man. But yet you tell me this now? No, get the fuck out of my house. Fatum goes on to further explain that the information that her friend found was that Drew and Ralph both have 12 aliases between each other, and that is another word for fake names. And I'm like, for what though? Like, both of you could use your own names, and I promise you nobody would know. Like, is Drew there? Who? What are both of them hiding? Like, first you have like 1,200 assistants, and now you have like 1,200 aliases. For what? I'm not understanding. And then Fatum, she further goes on to say, yeah, I mean, the name that really stuck out to me was Danielle. That one is really sketchy to me. And she's alluding that maybe, Ralph is using that name or something, like to cheat on Drew or something. But I'm pretty sure Ralph doesn't need an alias for that. I'm pretty sure that he'll do it with his own name. Like, hey, yeah, I'm here to check into the hotel. My name is Ralph. I'm here to cheat. So then mañana, a couple of more of Sheree's friends, Drew and Marlo, show up. And Marlo, she had the best look of the whole night. I mean, she made pajamas look like a really nice dress, and she looks good. So they're all in the kitchen, and you get to really see the impact of Sheree's house and the space that it has. Because here, there's like 25 people in one room, yet everything around them is still spacious. Like, the house is huge. So Sheree, this is one of the really nicest houses I've seen on the Housewives in a while. So then Sheree takes everybody downstairs to do a little paint and sip activity, where there's a bunch of portraits set out on the table that everybody has to choose what they want to do to paint out, right? So there's a couple of options. There's a man's torso, there's a woman's booty, and there's a couple of dick pictures, right? That you get to choose to pin, right? So everybody, they pull a Scooby-Doo and they're like, split up, gang. So everybody goes their separate ways to, have their own little time to sit down, to have drinks, to paint their own dick pictures, right? And I believe it was Candy, of course. Candy was just like,
Wait a minute, Sheree. I mean, this is fun and all, and I like the activity, and I like that we get to paint a couple dicks. But do you think that there's any models around here that maybe we could paint them?
and of course, cue in the models. Production was just like, okay, Lamante, go now, hurry up, we're charging you by the minute. So then two models come out. I believe it was a man and a woman. He comes out in his boxers. He looks so good. The girl, she also looks good. She comes out in a bra and panties, I believe. He's in his boxers. And I'm like, okay, let's see where this is going. So then Kenya, I believe she asked the male model, I believe his name was Lamante. She asked him, so wait, are you like a stripper, or like what's going on here? So then he's just like, no, I'm a nude model. And I'm just like, now wait a minute. I'm intrigued. Continue. Go on, please. Elaborate. Let me see your resume. So then next thing you know, one thing leads to another, and then all of a sudden we see boxers sliding down, and I'm like, wait a minute, I thought this was a classy party. What's going on here? But wait, I want to watch. He pulled on his boxers. He had a really nice ass. Next thing you know, we see the woman model. She takes off her bra too and her panties, and I'm like, wait a minute. Let me get my cross. It is Sunday. What is going on here? I just came to dance. That's it. I was just watching the whole thing. I'm like, wow, but I wasn't mad at it. I would have been sitting there like, go on. And what was so funny was that once the models started taking off their clothes and their underwear, Candy, of course, she jumped on it. She's like,
wait a minute. I don't want anybody thinking that this was my idea. This is not a Candy Burn production. This has nothing to do with me.
And then Marlo, in her confessional, she's just like, I can't believe this. I can't believe that everybody was getting naked. It turned out like an episode of Naked and Afraid. They got naked and I was afraid. Drew goes up to Tanya and she's like, Tanya, the whole issue that you told my husband, Ralph, about, oh, we're not too busy or whatever, I really didn't like that. I just didn't like that whole situation and everything and how you said that. I just felt like it was a dig at me. Sonya was just like, I was just playing. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Sonya could have been playing, but at the same time, Sonya, you shouldn't joke around like that when you know that you and Drew have tension. So you should have kept your jokes to yourself because it's not gonna go well for both of them, for both Ralph and Drew. So then Sonya's like, relax, I was just playing around. Like, I just told your husband Drew, I mean Ralph, sorry, it's just both of you, you have a girl name, he has a boy name. It's confusing sometimes. So then Drew, she blows that out of proportion. She was like, oh no, you're not gonna disrespect me and my name. I'm Drew and he's Ralph. And then they make another issue out of this. And I'm like, oh, come on now. Like, just drop it. There's dick around, there's ass and titties around, and you two are still fighting? How are you miserable with dick around? Make it make sense. Like, what's going on here? On top of that, I couldn't even take this scene serious because as they're both talking and things are getting heated between them, all we see is ass and titties in the background. I'm like, how am I supposed to take Drew confronting Sonya seriously when Lamonte's penis is just wagging all in the back? And then I believe Lisa Wu makes her grand appearance on the Housewives again. And it was so disrespectful how they titled her Sheree's friend. I'm like, have some respect on Lisa Wu. She is the original on the Housewives of Atlanta. She was, I believe, on season 1, season 2. So she comes in and she's excited and she's like, oh, what's going on here? What? This is why I left Atlanta. I'm not doing this. Like, penis and ass? No, I'm leaving. She was shocked about it, but she came in, she hugged everybody. It was nice to see, a little blast from the past. I wonder why she never continued on to the show because I feel like she was good on the show. After the painting activity, they all go to a different room where there's a large table set out for them to sit down and have dinner, right? So before that, Marlo, she tells the group, I'm gonna go to the bathroom really quickly. I'm gonna go wash my hands, okay? I'll be right back. So she goes to the bathroom and production had Candy in there for like 2 hours. Like, just give it a second. Marlo's gonna come in here any second now and you two could film a scene here spontaneously, right? Or at least that's the way it would look like to the audience. Next thing you know, Marlo goes in there and she's just like, oh, Candy, you're in here too? What a coincidence. Wow. Candy's just like, yeah, I know. I was just in here to wash my hands, ironically, and then you bumped into me at this perfect time, and I guess now will be a perfect time for us to have a conversation, huh? So Marlo, she's just like, yeah, let's go into the other room. Let's go into the little spa room or whatever. They go in there, they sit down, and Marlo, she has this thing where she knows how to manipulate people so she could look like the victim and she could feel like, oh, woe is me. Feel sorry for me. Don't attack me. Like, I want you to accept my apology because look at everything that I'm going through. So if I throw a low blow at you like multiple times, just accept that maybe I'm just going through a lot of things and I don't really mean it. Knowing damn well deep down inside, she does mean what she is saying. So Marlo, I'm not buying it. Like, I get what you're saying, but I'm not buying it. Marlo goes on to tell Candy, Candy, I'm really going through a lot right now. Like, my nephews, I don't want to put it like this, but I kicked them the fuck out. And I'm like, Marlo, you could have said it a nicer way, like to tell Candy or tell anybody on the show, oh yeah, I kicked my nephews the fuck out. Like, no, say it a little bit nicer. Say, I give them like a little vacation time or a little time away from me to go spend somewhere else while I get my mental health, better and stuff, while I get myself together. No, what did she say? I kicked them the fuck out. Like, Marlo, no, that is not a good way to approach it. So Candy, she was shocked about it. She was just like, wait, what? What are you talking about, Marlo? What do you mean you kicked them the fuck out? I can't believe this. Like, you're their Monty. What's going on here? And why did you kick them out? I cannot believe what I'm listening to right now. So Marlo, she continues on and she's like, Candy, I just really couldn't do it anymore. They were driving me crazy. I mean, they were just running around the house, destroying everything. I gotta put me first. I just can't do it anymore. I'm sorry. They went to go live with my sister and eventually they'll come back, but I just can't do it right now. I'm sorry. And I was on Candy's side with this one because you don't choose to just, let me just leave my kids somewhere else or whatever just because I'm going through it. No, Marlo, that is not how it goes. Like I said earlier, you chose the responsibility of being their guardian, so you have to put up with all of this. Yes, it's unfortunate, and I completely understand what she means. Like, she has to get herself together. But if that's the case, don't you have like 2 assistants or something? Maybe they could also help you, or maybe you could, hire, more people in your house or something to also take on the responsibility. You don't have to kick them out the house. Candy's just like,
You know what? I understand what you're going through now. As after you put it that way, I can see why you come at me in Kenya like that. And you know what? I forgive you. So maybe we can move on from this. And I'm like, no, Candy, no. Like, fight it back, fight it back. Like, she's just playing you. She's just playing on your emotions, and she wants you to feel sorry for her. That's all she's doing. And honestly, obviously, this isn't gonna last long anyway, because we saw the trailer for the rest of the season. So they both go back at it and go back to being enemies. And again, Marlo is just not trustworthy. So they head back to the table where Kenya suggests that they play this little activity that they go around and say something nice, and after that they say, yes, queen. And you could tell that Kenya is kind of fucked up at this point. I think she's on her 5th drink. Why you could tell is because of her eyes. You could tell that after a couple of drinks, your eyes start looking like this. So that's the way she was just looking. And I'm like, whoo, Kenya, you're having a good time. And she's just like, yeah, let's play around. So I believe we start off with Candy. Candy starts off by saying, well, I mean, me and Marlo, we just had a conversation just now on the side, and now me and her are good, and we're back on a better place than before, and I forgive Marlo. She is my best friend now, and she is gonna give me a 50% discount to the archive. So yes, queen. So everybody agrees, right? Like, yeah, okay, yes, queen, yes, queen. Then it's Marlo's turn, and she comes out with the theatrics, and she's just like, you know, I just really want to say that. I just want to say that I really love every single one of you. All of you ladies here at this table, I love every single one of you. And I'm so proud of the woman that you are. And I'm like, oh, Marlo, please save the BS. Like, cut it out. Like 1 second, Marlo is all for, oh, you know, I love all these women. I love women empowerment. I love this. I love that. You're like my best friend. You're like my sister. And what happens 2 seconds later when you say something bad or, you know, throw something shady at Marlo? She comes at you and she's just like, you can't keep a man. Did you get your body done? Look at your lips. So with Marlo, please stay there. Like, stop it. So then we move over to Drew, right? Drew, she goes on and she's just like, well, you know, I just want to say that, you know, I kind of like you ladies, but not really, but I kind of don't, but I kind of do. And can we just all say yes, queen?
Fuck no, she is not a queen. Ugh, who let her in this party? Why did they give her a peach this season? She's so annoying.
Sheree tries to be shady in her confessional towards Drew by saying, oh, she doesn't really know how to give a compliment because she's not used to receiving a compliment. And I'm like, Sheree, and you are? From Tyrone specifically. How many compliments has he given you in the last, 5 minutes? I'm pretty sure it's been 0, so please save it. So then we move over to Lisa Wu. Lisa Wu, I liked her message, but I'm not sure if it was the alcohol in her system that was talking, because as she was saying her inspirational message, it came out as if she wanted to whoop somebody's ass. Instead of being inspirational, she was just like, you know, I really like all you ladies here at the table. And I really enjoy being around you and just really getting to know every single one of you. And I really like that we're all moving higher up in life. And I really enjoy that we're all just really here for each other. I said, we're here for each other. I'm going to whoop your fucking ass. And I'm like, Lisa, woo, relax. Like, why was she so upset about it? Next thing you know, we circle back to Drew. Drew, she tries to go again for round 2, and she's just like, I really enjoy my time around all you ladies, even my enemies. But Marlo, I have a question for you. When you said just a second ago that you love everybody here at this table, do you really mean that? So what did Marlo do? She lied. She goes on to say, yes, I really do, Drew. I swear to God, I put it on God. I love every single one of these women here at this table. I love every single one of them like they're my sisters. I'm like, Marlo, okay, let's continue, right? So then Lisa Wu, she jumps in and she's like, Drew, I just feel like you need to let go of whatever it is that is bothering you inside about this enemy conversation. Whoever this enemy is, I know it's Fatum and Sanya. Whoever it is at this table, you just need to let it go, because if you're always expecting an apology from them, you're always just going to be bound to them. You're always going to be tied to that one person, and that's just not good for you. And she was giving some good advice. It's just her delivery, the way she was saying it to her, is as if she wanted to whoop Drew's ass for not listening to her. So then Sanya, she's sitting there uncomfortable like, okay, I feel like this conversation is about me. So she tries to interject and she's like, can I just say something? Lisa, she was just not having it. She was just like, I'm talking here. I'm talking to Drew, right? You see me talking to her, right? Mind your business. Anyway, so Drew, let me continue talking. So I just feel like you need to really let go of these enemies that you're talking about. Sanya, again, she's trying to jump in and she's like, can I just say one thing? I'll let you hold my gold medal, Lisa. No. Can I just say one thing? Lisa, again, she's just like, I'm talking. I said that I'm talking to her. Sanya, she finally says something. She's like, yeah, you're talking way too much. But she says it in a little playful way. And I'm like, so interesting, Sanya. You had all this different energy with Drew just a couple of episodes ago when you got in her face and you were trying to get physical. But now all of a sudden when Lisa's coming at you full force, you have nothing to say then. What happened? What's going on? Is Drew the only one that you could pick on the show? Is that it? Like, you met your match with Lisa, so what's the problem? Because if I was you, I would have told Lisa, lady, I don't know who the fuck you think you're talking to, but I've been on the show. I'm the new peach holder. You haven't been on the show for what, 25 years? If I was you, I would hit the road. But no, you just stay there quiet. So then drunk Kenya, the alcohol starts to speak up for her because she's just like, Drew, so you want to know what happened before you got to this party? So, you know, Fatum, the girl right here that's acting desperate for a peach, so she told us that you and Ralph, you two have like 12 aliases between each other. Like, she said that. Like, Fatum did a background check on you. And I'm like, damn, Kenya, you are fucked up. Drew starts telling everybody at the table, does anybody find it weird that Fatum is basically my stalker? Like, why is she doing a background check on me? That's a little bit too much. That's a little bit too weird. Fatum, you're doing way too much. Then she tells Sheree, I know that me and you had our differences with my assistant, and I know that I was wrong in that situation, but you're not going to check your friend Fatum? I mean, look what she's doing to me, and you're not going to say anything about that? Sheree, what does she do? What? Can somebody pass the salad? She didn't say anything. I'm like, oh, Sheree, okay, of course, it's only convenient for her when it's her friend, right? But let it be anybody else. And maybe she'll be on the attack mode. But of course, Fatum is her friend. Fatum, she jumps in and she starts doing way too much and coming out way too desperate. She's like, yeah, and I'll do it again. And I'll do it again. I'll do more background checks on you. What about it if you continue fucking with me? And I'm like, Fatum, like, I can't see her with a peach. I can't even see her as a friend of the show. I mean, maybe a friend of the show, but like a long distant friend of the show, like over there somewhere. I'm glad that Drew was just like, anyways, I'm gonna continue eating my salad, and just she paid her no mind. And she also confessed with the whole Danielle situation, like, oh yeah, Danielle, she's my assistant, so I'm not really sure what this whole alias thing is about. But I'm like, yeah, you explained one alias, but what about all the other 11 ones? You didn't explain any of that. So then Kenya, she kind of breaks the ice and she jumps back in and she's like, you know, I just want to say that, first of all, who's Danielle? Who's Danielle? Oh my, I just fell over. Yeah, who's Danielle? You know what? I don't even want Nene Leakes back on this show. I don't care about her. Like, we don't need her. Our ratings are good. Like, who is Nene Leakes? Like, we don't need her on this show. Can somebody give me another drink? Yeah, I love everybody. I'm like, damn, Kenya, you are, Kenya was just gone. She was just falling all over the place, all over everywhere. And she was just like, wait, I have one question for everybody here at the table. Is my wig on correctly? And I'm like, oh, Kenya. Of course, Marlo, she had to jump in and she was just like, oh, I'm glad that she's making fun of it herself because I was going to say something about it. And I'm like, Marlo, please, we're all having fun here. Like, please stop being a negative Nancy. Like, take that somewhere else. Next thing you know, Candy whispers over to Fatum and she's like, okay, let's do that thing that we had planned for Sheree. They tell Sheree to put on this green robe while everybody gets in a circle. Fatum, she has on that sage and that incense that she was just talking about with Candy at the beginning of the party. She's like, okay, I'm going to put this in the center of the circle. And Sheree, you're going to have to stand over it. And you're gonna have to let it just breathe into your vagina. And the reason for all of this is because Fatum believes that this is going to get rid of all the negative energy, aka Tyrone, in Sheree's life. And I'm like, I promise both of you that there are much less extreme measures that you could do in your life to get rid of all the negative energy or a toxic relationship without having to stick anything inside your vagina. We see Drew to the side. She's annoyed. She's continuing eating her food and ignoring everybody and not participating because in her world, she thinks that this is witchcraft, this is voodoo. And I mean, to a certain extent, yeah, it could look that way. But I mean, Drew, with the way your relationship is going with Ralph, I don't know, if I was you, I would get like a 2-pack of sage and stick it inside you or something, or let it breathe into you as well and get rid of the negative energy in your life because whew, we remember those first couple of episodes this season. So then I believe Kenya, she also starts doing it. She's participating. She's drunk. You know, she's all over the place. Marlo, again, she continues jumping in and trying to start a fight with Kenya by saying, oh, look at her wig. Look at her wig. I'm glad that she has the confidence now to you know, make fun of her wig because there was a point in her life that we couldn't make fun of her hair or her wig. And I'm like, Marlo, please stop. Like, you see, everybody's having a good time. Everybody's having fun. Everybody's enjoying themselves, even if it's looking a little sketchy. Okay, you know, at least go along with it. But no, you know, she continues going on by saying, you know, I mean, I'm not gonna do that either because nobody wants somebody whose pussy smells like, you know, it came from a flea market. And I'm like, Marlo, again, this is why I can only give you like a quarter of my sympathy because look at what you're doing. Once all the pussy voodoo calms down, Marlo, she announces to everybody, okay, so I love all you ladies. Again, here we go with the lies, like saying that she loves everybody. I love everybody here, so, I'm inviting everybody here on a road trip to, I believe it was Blue Star Mountain or something in the mountains, right? So Kenya, she's drunk and she's just like, oh, a road trip. Wow, that's so exciting. Wow, a road trip. So exciting. So Marla was pissed at that, and she reacted the second that Kenya was just like, I am the moment. I am the moment. Look at me. I am the moment. I'm having so much fun. I am the moment. I'm the moment. I am the moment. And what was Marla doing? Yeah, you're the moment. You could be the moment, but you're not Mark's moment. Mark doesn't want that moment. And I'm like, Marlo. This is like your third strike already at this party. Like, come on now. Like, why are we mentioning Mark? Kenya is not even doing anything to you. Yeah, just a second ago, you were playing victim and saying, oh, I have so much going on in my life. I'm going through so much, blah, blah, blah. And look what you're doing. You're trying to use Kenya's hurt against her. So again, when and if Kenya and Candy use that hurt that you have in your life against you, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear Marlo crying. I don't want to hear, oh, you shouldn't be saying that to me. No, I don't want to hear that, because the same way that you have no rules or boundaries with anybody else's issues, we shouldn't have any sympathy towards you. So, okay. So then Kenya, obviously she ignores it. She puts her glass in the air. They all do a toast. Marlo, she's toasting with Kenya, but she's doing it a little bit too rough to the point where the glass, I feel like it was starting to break and the drinks were just flying all over the place. Sheree's just like, okay, let's not do all of that because we're in my house and I'm renting and stuff and I'm not really sure they're going to kick me out by next week, but please let's not do that because I'm not trying to stay in the floors and get billed for that. So they continue doing that. Eventually they separate them. Kenya's just like, you know what? I'm the moment, I'm leaving. So she twirls her way out of here. She goes somewhere else. She starts running around all over the chateau and the house is big enough to the point where it's going to be hard to catch her. And honestly, they should have played a game of hide and go seek because again, the house is big enough for them to find some good hiding spots within the chateau. So it was a cute little episode. It was nice to see Lisa Wu again. What do y'all think about her return? Would y'all want to see her to some capacity on the show in the future or to be a possible peach holder? Give her a third shot for another season. What do y'all think? And what do y'all think about this whole situation with Sonia and Drew again dragging out a little bit longer? And what do y'all also think about Marlo and Kenya and Candy in this whole situation? Like, what do y'all also think about Marlo kicking her nephews out? I mean, do y'all think that she's wrong or is it okay for her to do that? Like, what do y'all think? Let me know what y'all thought about this whole episode down in the comments. Bye, everybody. Mwah.